upon us, ye assemble and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our church. Amen. Honorable Clerk, can you confirm if there is quorum?
Honorable Speaker, quorum is not present.
According to Standing Order 35-2, I direct that the Sergeant at Arms rings the bell for 10 minutes and the whips to whip honorable members to the chambers. Honorable Deputy Whip, please can you whip members to the chambers? Majority Whip, Deputy Whip. Honorable Clerk, can you confirm if there is quorum?
Honorable Speaker, quorum is now present.
Order of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements as listed in the Appendix A. A statement on operationalization of coffee mill at Cheponet Songo Soba Ward, sought by Honorable Raymond Chelule on 12 October 2023. The statement was sought from the chairperson, Agriculture and Cooperative Development.
Yes, Chairperson, Agriculture and Cooperative Development.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to respond to a statement. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member Raymond Chelule, MCA Songo Soba Ward, and a member of Agriculture and Cooperative Development Committee sought a statement on operationalization of the coffee mill at Cheponet in Songo Soba Ward. The committee, therefore, through a letter dated on 22 February 2024, invite both CEC member and chief officer for the Department of Agriculture to appear before to appear before us on the Tuesday, 5th March 2024 at 9 a.m. To respond to this statement and two other that were sought by other members. Both the CEC member and the chief officer appeared before the committee, and in his submission, the CEC informed the committee that the county was yet to register the Nandi county coffee mill Union, and that the county was exploring for market that are specialists in coffee products, and in presence of putting the place the necessary structures. That among the structures being worked on at Chebonet currently are weight bridge, powerhouse, warehouse, staff house, security, 24 hours surveillance, as well as road maintenance. So as been enabled the full operational of the mill at Chebonet. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chair for Agriculture. Honorable Member from Songo Soba. The seeker of the statement.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the response given by the Honorable Chair for Agriculture and Cooperative Development. As far as the infrastructure of the mill is concerned, I am satisfied that there will be a way bridge, there will be a warehouse, there is a road which has been constructed to the site, although the road has been worn by trailers transporting sugarcane to sugar factories. Amongst others, I have not seen any water connection to the mill, and I have not seen anything to do with the warehouse that is proposed to be constructed, and I have not seen the said way bridge. Mr. Speaker, as I go to my home every day from this house, that is the road I pass through. And I normally stop there because I am very interested about the mill.
Honorable Member.
Yes.
I think you are contradicting yourself.
Now,
from the first statement.
The statement as read,
yes,
is okay. There is no way bridge today, to date. There is no warehouse to date. We are supposed to have staff housing there. None has been done. The only structures I see which have of late is an ablution block and a proposed powerhouse for connecting electricity to the mill. Inside the mill itself is supposed to have a quality control laboratory for testing purposes. So those are the things which should be put in place. And in fact, I have suggested in the committee that just like we visited Muranga and Meru milk factories with reference to Kabiet factory, the committee needs to visit a mill that is operational at the moment, like APCU, like Tropical, like what? So we need to visit those mills for benchmarking, so that when we say that our mill is Chebonet is ready, then we are really talking the truth about it. We should not just be contradicting ourselves. So that's all I can say, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chair, can you give a further clarification on the same?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The way Honorable Member from Songo Soba Ward, I hope by next week the whole entire committee will be at Chebonet to observe the progress of that factory.
What about the facilities that is mentioning?
Okay, Honorable Speaker, the way I read the statement, I told you things are on progress, which means Weybridge and the others are on progress.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable,
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
I want to report to this House.
which standing order are you standing, Honorables?
Well, the way things are going, I don't see why the mill is not ready now when farmers are in the picking season for coffee. Where are they going to take their coffee? So you see, the state, I'm very much worried about the readiness of that mill to process coffee from farmers. This is what I can say. We are already picking coffee. That's all I can say. What we should process Nandi coffee in that mill.
Yes, Honorable Member from Kabareng, under which point of order?
Point of order, number 90, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a house of order.
Yes.
And the area MCA is refuting what the Chair for Agriculture has read. All those things he's reading don't exist. They don't exist. The area MCA is already saying those things don't exist. There's a saying on the ground, Honorable Speaker, kwa ground vitu ni tofauti. Kwa ground vitu ni different. And this is what we are seeing in this house. So the chair and the committee, because they have not been to the area, the member of the one who sought the statement
I
is
think,
also a member.
Honorable Member, the chair, going by the report, has read that things are in progress. And he has committed that he's going with the committee to visit there next week. So I will direct that let the chair commit himself on record when.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to comment something before he commits.
Under which standing order?
I mean, he has just delivered a statement to the House. I thought, are we allowed to respond?
Yeah, you are allowed.
That's what I want to do. But before I say so, Honorable
But
Speaker,
Honorable Member, you are out of order. I think Honorable Chair for Agriculture.
Honorable Speaker, I hope on Tuesday we shall be at Tibonet.
Thank you, Honorable Members. Now I will open the floor for Honorable Members to comment on the statement that had been sought by the Honorable Member from Songo Soba. The floor is open.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I'm listening to the statement by the very able chair for agriculture, and I want to thank him for that. However, Mr. Speaker, you just wonder, it's like the incident where they say you put the cart before the horse. Honestly, how was the factory constructed in the first place? We are now being told the road is not there. That the road is not there, Mr. Speaker. And you protect me from the seeker of the statement, Mr. Speaker, because he is speaking when...
Order, Honorable Members. Honorable Member from Songo Soba.
Yes.
We have rules and procedures. And whenever you want to react to any issue, you have to rise on a standing order. So I will allow the Honorable Member from Kaptumo Kaboi to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we are wondering, Mr. Speaker, how was this factory constructed? If maybe planes or helicopters were used to carry materials to that place, so that as we speak now, we don't have a road. We know there is what we call feasibility study, and there are the elementary requirements before you set up a facility. We set up a facility, Mr. Speaker, so that it serves the intended purpose. If, Mr. Speaker, we pouring the taxpayers' money to a factory that we just want to be seen to have constructed a factory, Mr. Speaker. But the necessary infrastructure is missing. So that my opinion would be, you complete the factory that is supposed to be operational alongside all the other required elements to it, like the weighbridge. As you finish up the factory, the weighbridge is part and parcel of the factory. So if we are being told now that the farmers cannot take their tea, or rather their coffee, because a weighbridge is missing, because then we ask ourselves, a warehouse is not there. Then, Mr. Speaker, you wonder, whenever you construct a factory, it is going to have some products. And these products have to be stored somewhere, so that as the factory comes up, it should be coming up with a warehouse. So, Mr. Speaker, the CEC for agriculture, or whoever is concerned with that, should be called out, because this is irresponsible. This is the money, the taxpayers' money is lacking the value, because we set up a factory and it cannot be able to function. As we speak now, the Cabinet dairies, we are told it is complete, all the modern machinery is there, but we are not utilizing it. There is the chicken factory across here, Mr. Speaker. It is underutilized. So why are we setting up all these factories, all these facilities meant to serve the people of Nandi, and yet we are unable to make them operational? So, Mr. Speaker, much as the chair has said they will go on Tuesday, they are still again going to burn the very, very taxpayers' money to go and do something. If we've been told that it cannot operate because of that, somebody should be asked to come and explain, why did you do this and you couldn't do them alongside what is required for a factory to operate? So, Mr. Speaker, we seek statements, and you've reminded us again and again that statements that are being sought are not personal. It belongs to the House. So it is not about Chelule again, Honorable Chelule, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry for that, again defending the situation and defending why the factory should not operate. Then you beg the question, we beg is, why then was he seeking for this statement? But since we own it, Mr. Speaker, and I want to stand with the people, the coffee growers, who are supposed to be supplying their cherries there, that this factory should start its operations as soon as possible, so that the taxpayers' money can be put into good use. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member from Lesos.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Actually, I had wanted to seek a clarification before I make my comments. That's why I stood up earlier, Honorable Speaker. But thank you for your guidance. Maybe after I make a few comments, then the chair can clarify. First of all, I am amazed that the chairman requested this House to wait. He sought leave for days and weeks. And then the statement that has come in is just not more than 2 pages. I think if there's anybody who takes this House for granted, it must be that department. Seriously, because this is not even a statement that we should be waiting for. In fact, I would like to request this House not to allow it. This person has not responded to the question. I think the question was when. What I'm hearing the member from Songo to be asking is, when will the mill be operational? And the chair, the good chair, I mean, I do not have an issue with the chair. I'm referring to the CEC and whoever it is who wrote it, did not respond at all. I never heard anything. It is just a story about how things are still being worked on in progress. Remember yesterday, this is what we said, this house will say no to such things being taken in cycles. The question is, when will the mill be operational? And I would like that to be clarified, Honorable Speaker, if indeed the question was from the member, when will it be ready? So that we know, particularly if he says right now that farmers are harvesting today, and you know these crops are seasonal. Is it going to be ready this season? Or it will be next year? Or it will be in the next 2 years? When will the continued transformation end so that we can begin to see something? When will it begin to do the work it was purposed for? And I think, therefore, Honorable Speaker, I wish to request that, I do not know whether it is we are able to make, this House can be able to make such a demand, but in any case, because they are giving us reports, I'm sure they will give us reports along with this Chebonet and tell us how much they have spent, what was it, when did they expect to finish it, so that we can look at it, because there is something called value for money. To me, I think this person should be reprimanded. That CEC, that department, that officer who brings this sort of statement to the House, which does not help us to make head or tail. Listening to it, there is nothing I have learned. I cannot know when that Chebonet will be ready. And that is unfortunate, because that was the purpose of the statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member from Kabware.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to the statement by the Chair, Agriculture. We have to appreciate the fact that this statement was sought in October of last year. We have 2 months, and it will be a year since this statement was sought, on the statement on authorization of the coffee mill. And up to date, we are being told by the Chair, from wherever he got the statement, that this mill, things are ongoing. In the budget, Honorable Speaker, in this House, there are projects which are called ongoing projects. Pending bills, ongoing projects that have been going on for years and years. And this Chebonet, and we also have to appreciate the fact that the seeker of the statement is a member of the Agriculture Committee. So he sits down with the Chair as they plan on how they are going to get the answers for this statement. And here, Honorable Speaker, I have to appreciate that the statement is being read by the Chair is not known by the seeker of the statement, because they could have resolved these issues at the committee level. If the statement is saying the bridge is ready, the man on the ground saying it's not ready, and they're sitting in the same. I really appreciate this as a committee, which tells me that something is wrong somewhere, Honorable Speaker. And we have to stop these shenanigans that we keep doing as a committee, in committees and members of this House. If, Chair, you know that this thing is not going to be ready, just tell us it's not ready. And we don't know. We cannot predict. Instead of trying to defend the executive here on this case, it is almost in 2 months' time, it is going to be a year since the seeker of the statement took the statement and asked for when this coffee mill will be ready. 2 months minus a year, you are telling us ongoing progress. Honorable Speaker, the seeker of the statement, who is a member of the Agriculture Committee, who sits with the Chair in the same committee, while they were trying to get the answers for this mill, they are unable to get the answers. And I support the member from Lesos. The answer is unsatisfactory for the statement, because now the document is no longer the honorable members, but it's a document of this plenary. So the answer is very unsatisfactory because it does not answer to the question, to the statement took. So thank you, Honorable Speaker. we hope that this statement will go back to the committee, or we call the CEC member to action. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member from Kabareng. Maybe I will give the Honorable Chair for Agriculture the right of reply.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The way I've said, we are going to Jebonate. That's on Tuesday. I could request our other members, if they are willing to go with us, can you join us so that we can go and inspect what is going on at Jebonate? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Statement B. The statement on tea and sugarcane says sought by Honorable Isaiah Maina on 20th September 2023. The statement was directed to Chairperson, Agriculture and Cooperative Development, and C. The statement on National Agricultural and Rural Inclusive Growth Project, NARIC, 2017-2022 programs. The statement was sought on 1st August 2023 by Honorable Isaiah Maina from the Chairperson, Agriculture and Cooperative Development.
Honorable members, I've been informed that the committee has a report, but it is not yet conclusive. So I direct that that statement be responded to on Tuesday afternoon. Next order.
D. Statement on medical supplies to health facilities sought by Honorable Isaiah Maina on 19 September 2023. The statement was sought from the Chairperson, Health and Sanitation Committee.
The Chairperson, Health and Sanitation. The Vice Chair. Any member of the committee that has been mandated to respond to that through a written consent by the chair. Okay, Honorable Birech, I will allow you, because you are a member of the committee, I will allow you to make some comments on the same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Actually, I wanted to request that the report actually is ready, and I think by next week, Honorable Chair will be able to present the report. Thank you.
So I direct that the statement be availed Tuesday afternoon.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
You are committing yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next order. Yes, Honorable Tarbey.
Mr. Speaker, I thought it is still statement hour.
It is still statement hour.
I am rising to seek a statement. Pursuant to standing order number 45, Mr. Speaker, that aware that this Honorable House passed a resolution yesterday, Mr. Speaker, on a very important matter. And Mr. Speaker, we are awaiting reports. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to seek statement. I want to seek a statement from the leader, the chairman, rules and procedure. And you know who that is, Mr. Speaker, because this is a matter of rules and procedure. That, Mr. Speaker, we are awaiting for reports from the various departments. But with or without those reports, Mr. Speaker, this Honorable House will retreat to make a report. So I am seeking a statement whether the chairman, rules and procedure, has mandated the clerk's office to write, because, Mr. Speaker, the BFM Act which we cited, 166, says an original copy comes to this assembly, then copies goes to CRA, COP, and National Treasury. I am seeking statement to know whether the clerk's office have written letters to those commissioned, Mr. Speaker, so that in case there is a monkey business where we are given fake reports, Mr. Speaker. We have true copies of the reports from the COP, the CRA, and National Treasury, Mr. Speaker. So I am seeking that statement whether letters have been written to those authorities, whether they will be generous enough to share copies with us, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. As you have mentioned that the Chair rules and procedure, and that is me as the Honorable Speaker, I want to commit to this Honorable House that through my office, we shall write a letter to the COB so that they will avail to us copies so that we shall make comparisons with what we shall be given from the relevant departments. I have ruled that way. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, it should not be only COP, it's also CRA and the National Treasury.
All the concerned bodies. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Yes, Honorable Tololei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to move a motion that this House adopts the Lands, Environment, and Natural Resources Committee report on Taptengele Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 20th June. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Lands, Environment, and Natural Resources is established pursuant to Standing Order number 194. The committee looks into all matters related to implementation of specific national policies on natural resources and environmental conservation, including soil, water conservation, forestry, control of air pollution, noise pollution, public nuisances, and outdoor advertising. Mr. Speaker, the committee is comprised of Honorable Cyrus Sum, who is the chairman, Honorable Lucy Chepkemei, who is the vice chair, Honorable Wilson Sang, member, Honorable Raymond Chelule, Honorable Martin Douglas, Honorable Joan Chebet, Honorable Isaiah Maina, Honorable Gideon Kogo, and Honorable Pamela Magut. The Honorable Speaker, the committee wishes to acknowledge the House through the Speaker for the support granted in executing its mandate. The committee is also grateful to the Office of the Clerk and the staff for facilitating and providing technical support to the committee from the beginning of the development plan approval process. The committee attributes the success of this activity to the cooperation and proper coordination between the various offices in the County Assembly. We also wish to thank the members of the public for the confidence bestowed upon members of this committee and the whole House. We appreciate the general public for the submissions that have guided the committee in arriving at conclusion of Taptengele Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan. Mr. Speaker, the CECM Lands, Physical Planning and Housing, Environment, Water and Natural Resources, and Climate Change presented a paper on Taptengele Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan. The CECM in charge elaborated that Taptengele Trading Center Development Plan to be presented to the County Assembly in line with Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019. The plan will provide for basis for infrastructure, provision, orderly development, and security of tenure. Mr. Speaker, Taptengele Trading Center, local physical land and Land Use Development Plan was generated as a response to a request made by Taptengele Trading Center leadership in a letter dated 2nd February 2022, requesting for a review of the center plan. The request was made to facilitate controlled development and generation of ownership documents by the center members. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 43, you communicated to the County Assembly on Thursday, 28 March 2024, that this House had received the proposed development plan from the County Executive. The notification was therefore referred to the Sectoral Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources for consideration and reporting to the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, a public participation was done, and there were submissions, and in the submissions, the request to the County Assembly to have the Taptengele Trading Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan be amended to address the following matters. Number one is inclusion of a health facility as Meteitei Health Center and Meteitei Sub-County Hospital are far, and therefore having a health facility at Taptengele will promote ease of access to healthcare services to Taptengele and Kamelil residents. Number two is provision of adequate space for open-air markets to promote trade and attract entrepreneurs from neighboring towns and centers. Number three is provision of space for construction of a social hall within the center for conducting public activities such as public participation and public barazas. And lastly, provision of space for construction of national government offices such as Chief's Office, Educational Office, Agricultural Extension Office, among others. Mr. Speaker, these are findings from the committee. Number one, that due process was followed in the generation of Taptengele Trading Center Local Physical Land Use Development Plan pursuant to provisions of Article 184 of the Constitution of Kenya 2020, the Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019 and Urban Areas and Cities Act 2019. That sufficient public participation was conducted during the generation of Taptengele Trading Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan pursuant to the provisions of Article 118 of the Constitution of Kenya. That the development of the plan was done in an open and transparent manner. Mr. Speaker, these are the recommendations from the committee. Having received notification from the CECM in charge of lands, environment and natural resources and climate change on Taptengele Trading Center, and the matter having been referred to the Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources, the committee have conducted stakeholder and public participation and invited written submissions, and having considered all stakeholders' inputs, therefore puts the following recommendation. Considering that due process was followed in the generation of Taptengele Trading Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan to provision of Article 184 of the Constitution of Kenya, the Physical and Land Use Planning 2019 and Urban Areas and Cities Act 2019. This House adopts the Taptengele Trading Center Local Physical and Land Use Development. And we've affirmed our signatures as members of the committee as follows: Honorable Silas Sum, Honorable Lucy Chepkemei, Honorable Wilson Sang, Honorable Raymond Chelule, Honorable Martin Douglas, Honorable Joan Chebet, Honorable Isaiah Maina, Honorable Gideon Kogo, and Honorable Pamela Magut. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, to call upon Honorable Isaiah Maina to second.
Honorable members, the motion that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee report on Taptengele Center Local Fiscal and Land Use Development Plan laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 20th June 2024. The debate is now on. Honorable member from Kaptumo Kaboy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this motion, Mr. Speaker, that indeed we adopt this report. I know Taptengele Trading Center. Mr. Speaker, this is a very small center of little more than 30 buildings, Mr. Speaker, and a population of, I think, all the time, you can't have more than 100 people, Mr. Speaker, in that trading center. But I know this plan, this action.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Isaiah Maina. Under which order?
Under accuracy of facts, could the Honorable member substantiate, Honorable Speaker, where he got the figure 100? I don't know whether it is in the report or he got it from the censors or where. Could he table the evidence?
Honorable Mosbey, can you substantiate where you got the figures?
Mr. Speaker, you see, I'm a person who once stayed not very far from the center. So for somebody to say, or for honorable member to say that I should substantiate, I can't substantiate what is obvious to me, Mr. Speaker. I know the place. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, I'm not opposing this report. All I'm doing is that in supporting the report, that indeed the planning of that center is necessary. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President, Mr. Speaker, made a comment about the center, Taptengele, and what is said is that you just tap and you get the money. It went viral, Mr. Speaker. Somebody in Taptengele to do that, which I support. I support that this small center should be allowed to grow. Because of that statement by His Excellency the President of this Republic about the center, it is necessary, because of the interest that came thereafter from investors, it is necessary that this center indeed get the requisite plan so that it can grow to benefit the people of that area. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support this report in totality, I want to say this. Our county government has swung into action in order to bring order in this center. In my ward, Mr. Speaker, we have a center like Mugundoi, which has about 1,000 inhabitants at any time. You have another one called Kipkenyo that has inhabitants of around 600 at any time. You have one like Mosombor, and you can Google this. You have a lot of residents there and a lot of businesses happening there. You have one called Chepkongony, Mr. Speaker. All these centers that I've mentioned, they lack a plan. It has been very difficult, and over the years, Mr. Speaker, if we go to records of various budgets, this assembly and the previous assemblies have always allocated resources for planning to be done. I welcome the action that is being taken now, because if you can be able to plan Taptengele that has not come into existence properly, why not plan? And I want to urge this committee to be fair enough to go across Nandi, because we want to take off as Nandi. Across all the small centers, we want to see a center like the one belonging to the chairman of agriculture, like Mutwot, being planned also, so that we have proper development, a development that is futuristic, so that we can, the people of the various centers, the various small centers, can have a plan, and we can have investors. It has been very difficult for investors to invest in some of these small centers. And the reason being that there is no development plan in place in order to allow. If you allow all the honorable members, Mr. Speaker, they will mention to you their respective small centers and the reason why they've not grown. And the main reason why they've not grown for most of them is because of lack of a development plan. So I welcome the adoption of this report, so that the necessary department can be able to move, carry out the planning, and Taptengele can be able to grow and be a global center of innovation, ICT, online jobs, and all that. And that can happen anywhere in Nandi if all these centers are planned over time, Mr. Speaker. So I support the report in totality, and I want to urge the committee to follow through to see to it that it does not go down the archives as one of the reports we adopt, and perhaps action not taken thereafter. So, Mr. Speaker, I support and thank you for this opportunity.
Honorable member from Tinderet.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, let me give my appreciation and thanks to a Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources over this report. The change of status of the said land, Honorable Speaker, that's been overdue. Taptengele Center, Honorable Speaker, is in my ward. And at times it's good to be factual. The place is densely populated, Honorable Speaker. The number of centers in that place is over what the said member of Kaptumo, Kaboi, has just alleged, Honorable Speaker. And you know, Honorable Mospei has been intended for some time being a teacher before he came to this Honorable House. And probably the last time he was in that place around 10 years ago. I want to assure Honorable Mospei that the said environment is not as it is. Up to now, it is changed. The environment is very busy. And having done with that, I want to say, Honorable Speaker, this will give an opportunity for proper planning of the said center. It will give an opportunity, because of population in that place, to have a land for dispensary. Not only dispensary, because there's a plan to make it to have a maternity wing because of this stature. As we speak, we have a training school for trainers, Honorable Speaker, called Tindred Integrated Training School. And currently it's attracting a good number of students. As we speak, we have around 300 students reported. And it is projected probably by end of this year, we shall be having around 1,000 plus. So with this completion of this report, it will enable us to plan well in terms of having a proper ablution block, having a dispensary, having a proper chief service places, and I would really want to appreciate. And you know, as we speak, Taptenkele is an international name. It's no longer a local name. So it deserves to be given its proper name as per the status internationally. And I would really want to appreciate the team and encourage them to do the same to other centers, not only Taptenkele. We have a good number of centers which are not, they don't have change of use for the parcel of lands for proper development. I would encourage that we do the same. We devolve this function to a good number of plots or centers that require change of use to enable the residents assess proper development, to enable if there is any investor who wants to invest in that particular center, Honorable Speaker, without a change of use, the investors probably may run away. But the sooner we do to a good number of centers within the county, it grows. Because once we have the municipality, in the next, we are projecting the next 50, 100 years, Taptenkele will be a municipality. And a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So, Honorable Speaker, I stand here to fully support the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Tarbei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for for this opportunity that I may support the motion. But before I support, Mr. Speaker, allow me a moment to maybe to join other Kenyans for and congratulate the new CSS, Mr. Speaker, because we are aware that CSS today took their oath of office. And Mr. Speaker, although I know some of them, there is one which comes from near our region, Mr. Speaker. For us, as Nandi County, we pride ourselves as the source of champions. And we have this CS called Kipchumba Murkomen, who comes from Elgeyo Marakwet. The Elgeyo Marakwet County prides themselves as the county of champions. Then we have Wasingishu, which is the city of champions, Mr. Speaker. So, as we congratulate them, Mr. Speaker, we thank the President, because since our counties are known for sports, it is our hope that we will build good relationship with all these CSS, that they come to our county, Mr. Speaker, because we need a lot of development. We are aware that our county has been marginalized for long. But, Mr. Speaker, you know, Murkomen is taking the oath of office. And even we have sports champion in our county, Mr. Speaker. I understand Cheptil, our local school here, Mr. Speaker, are the national champions in Falepo, Mr. Speaker. So,
point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Under which standing order, Honorable Maina?
Could the Honorable Member clarify or substantiate when he say what he means by saying that Nandi County?
Under which standing order are you standing?
I've said substantiate, yes. You would understand that, Honorable
Normally, Honorable Member, you are out of order.
Order number 90.
Order number 90.
Yes. Could the Honorable Member substantiate what he means by saying that Nandi County has been marginalized?
I think, Honorable Member, you are out of order. The order number 90 talks about accuracy of facts.
Yes, I mean,
So,
he has just made that allegation that Nandi County has been marginalized. Is that accurate?
Honorable Member?
Marginalized by who?
Honorable
Where?
Member, can you substantiate whether Nandi County is marginalized?
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Maybe the term I would have used is that it is lacking behind in terms of development, Mr. Speaker. That's why even, Mr. Speaker, the debate before this House is a physical plan, Mr. Speaker. If we are still advocating for physical plans, it means we have not planned anything, Mr. Speaker, so far. So we need first a physical plan, then we start development, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, you know, I think I have withdrawn the statement and I have clarified what I intended to mean, that we lack behind in terms of development. So, Mr. Speaker, I was saying that the swearing in of the CS for sports, who will also be overseeing the issues of Gen Zs in our great country, Mr. Speaker, Murkomen has come at a better time when our champions, Cheptil boys, have a match, the national champions, Mr. Speaker. So we hope that one day Murkomen will visit this county and we will congratulate these boys for emerging victorious, Mr. Speaker. So that was our way of just passing my congratulations messages. However, to come to the...
Yes, Honorable Chelule. On which point of order?
Why are we discussing Nandi
Honorable
County
Chelule,
and sports
Honorable
instead of
Chelule, you
discussing
are out of
Taptengele?
order.
We are wasting time.
You are out of order, Mr. Chelule.
Yes.
On which order are you standing?
Accuracy of facts. Why are we discussing Nandi County and sports when we should be discussing Taptengele? That's right.
I think Honorable Chelule,
Yeah, that's right.
going by the statement of the Honorable Member, he had asked for permission from the Honorable Speaker, and I allowed.
Thank you.
Continue, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Chair, for protecting me. And I want to inform the Honorable Member that Taptengele is also in Nandi County. So there is no way you cannot mention Taptengele without mentioning Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. So altogether, Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the Chair for the department and his team for lands, environment, and natural resources for this report. Mr. Speaker, some of us had Taptengele for the first time when the President mentioned. And it's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, the former CS for ICT, Owalo, was passionate. I hope also the new CS coming will not abandon that place, Mr. Speaker, because Taptengele trended, Mr. Speaker, internationally. And maybe when they'll be, after the physical planning, Mr. Speaker, there should be a landmark for Taptengele. When you go to other counties, you know there are landmarks, Mr. Speaker, like if you go to Iten, the landmark for Iten is the monument of President Moi holding Arungu, Mr. Speaker. But for Taptengele, Mr. Speaker, maybe the monument will be a laptop, Mr. Speaker, because, and I believe one day laptops in Nandi will be made, Mr. Speaker, that like we have Lenovo, we have HP, maybe one day we'll have a laptop called Taptengele, Mr. Speaker, because it will be a trademark for ICT. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this physical plan so that like any other parts of developed towns, Mr. Speaker, Taptengele will also develop. We know it is located in parts of the thin red, Mr. Speaker, and we know in our county, in as much as my friend will not allow me to use the term marginalized, but part of thin red, Mr. Speaker, is treated as the hardship area. So Taptengele is part of the hardship area, Mr. Speaker, which means it's lacking in development. And if we allow this motion to pass, we adopt this physical plan, Taptengele will grow as a town and eventually a municipality, Mr. Speaker. So I support this motion and congratulate the committee for the wonderful job. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member from Lesos.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to make a few comments. I'm a member of this committee, and indeed, it was welcome for us to undertake this activity. The only thing that I would like to add, probably because we are an arm of the government, so as I speak, I wish to say that plans alone, planning alone, sometimes is not adequate. So you will find that there are places which have been planned even during colonial times or at the time when we had the schemes. So I have an example of Koilot, which is a planned township in Olesos. So it was planned like that originally, very well planned, with all the facilities that are required, up and including places for churches, for all the kinds of facilities you would want to think about in a town. Unfortunately, as time went by, the plans were mutilated and changed to other things. So that if you were to go to that place today, you would find that there is a lot of reversals. So whereas the plan was futuristic, right now, we can no longer say with certainty that that township is planned. So I wish that this plan, which is set out for Taptengele, will be adhered to, and that the people of Taptengele will use it to organize themselves, and that they will not deviate from it. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I think there are many other places, many other big urbanations, as alluded to by the member who just spoke immediately before me. It would be necessary to plan all these urbanations, including areas which we think might turn out to be urban areas as we go along, so that we do not become reactive. Instead, we can remain proactive. So this is something that I think as a house, and maybe even for us as a committee, we could pursue and ensure that all the various urban areas which have not been planned are planned, and that any such plans that come into place are adhered to, and strictly so that we do not keep losing the advantages of planning. I support.
Honorable Kogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also join my honorable members in this motion. But before then, Honorable Speaker, allow me to first congratulate the CS Murkomen, as alluded by the Honorable Tarbey, and also to pass my sincere congratulations to the national champions volleyball team, that's Cheptel, which is also in Nandi County, for emerging this year's winners. We are proud as the chairperson in charge of sports, and on behalf of the committee, I say congratulations and again, Cheptel. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Committee on Lands for this very good item on the fiscal planning of Taptengele. Honorable Speaker, in each and every good thing that we need in this county, we really need a very good planning. And on this note, we've gotten a name from just the button of a laptop, that's Taptengele, and it has given this county that a small village which was not known, it has gotten a very good name, and now investors are planning to invest in that place called Taptengele. Honorable Speaker, I happen to have a Taptengele family in my village. They are my neighbors, and they are very much proud, Honorable Speaker. And today, when you talk of Taptengele to be planned properly, I know even for us, honorable members, we would want that one day we have some portions over there to even invest. So, Honorable Speaker, as we plan for Taptengele fiscal planning, we also need planning for other urban centers. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say let us adopt this motion so that we see progress of fiscal planning being started. Otherwise, I support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Susan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the motion that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resource Committee report on Taptengele Center. To begin with, let me also congratulate Cheptil champions for their exemplary performance. They've made Nandi County proud. As I support this motion, it is my advice that to this House that they do a proper feasibility study. By that I mean a detailed analysis that considers all the critical aspects of any proposed project to determine the likelihood of its success. After listening to several reports in this House, the main problem to the failure of the projects in Nandi County is the improper feasibility study. For example, I'm a member of the sports committee, and some 2 weeks ago, we joined the governor to flag off the Paralympic team who are training at Kipchoge Complex. Let me echo the sports department for at least doing one project that earns something to our county. After doing my personal research. Another thing is the delay of projects, which leads to additional resources. By that, we waste more time on very old projects, which still inflates the cost of the projects in Nandi. We have most projects that, if they were completed on time, it would now be earning our county very good profits. That is it, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Members, the debate is still on. Maybe I will now call upon Honorable Esther.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this chance that you've given me. I support the motion that this is being brought up by the Lands and Environment about Taptengele. You know, when this thing is being developed, the Taptengele place will even make most of investors to be there at the Taptengele, and that thing will be expanded, and it will be the land use for many people. Since that place is a bit remote, this is now coming up for the many people to come to Taptengele. As we develop the land in Taptengele, which has come up now, the government will just see what to put there so that it can bring in the investors. I support the motion. Thank you.
Honorable Member, maybe now I will give the mover of the motion the right of reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me say a very big thank you to honorable members who have supported this motion. Thank you so much. With your permission, Honorable Speaker, allow me to congratulate the teams that won the valuable games at the national level. There is also Bishop Muge Memorial that won under the junior, the JSS. So allow me to congratulate it. It comes from my ward, and they also won under the JSS, the National Volleyball Games. Mr. Speaker, this report has all the physical features that tells us about Taptengele, and if really developed, as we have said, facilitating the health facilities, constructions, open air market, the social hall, the government administrative offices, and providing suitable space for public toilets and disposal of wastes. It will also generate income to our beloved county, Nandi. We also, as a committee, I want to welcome views from honorable members. If there is a center that you feel like it has to be properly planned and developed, you are welcome to our committee so that we may give that program and also give a way forward to your ward, to the program that you feel that it is good to be planned in your ward. So I wish to say thank you so much, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, for supporting this motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopts the Lands, Environment and Natural Resources Committee report on Taptengele Center Local Physical and Land Use Development Plan laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 20th June 2024. As many of the same opinion say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, adjournment.
For members, the House stands adjourned until next week, Tuesday afternoon.